So I'll focus my comments on a pedagogical approach. So oftentimes those of us in the room who are working with first-gen students and low-income students, when we're really trying to rush in very quickly and make sure that we fill social capital gaps that might serve as a barrier, right, to them successfully navigating the collegiate experience, whether that be in the space of career navigation, academic navigation, how to sit at the front of the classroom, right, introduce yourself to your professors, right there. This is part of how we're making visible the hidden curriculum of student success. How we do this is critically important, and I want to go back to elements of what I heard Natasha share in her really brilliant remarks before the panel started. If we do this in a way that embodies a deficit lens, meaning if we do this in a way that the meta-communication is, you're broken, right? There's something wrong with you, and so we're going to fill your brokenness so that you can be successful here. Then it robs students of their agency, their resilience, their self-efficacy, their grit, before they start what might be the hardest chapter in their life thus far. So centering an asset lens in the work that we're doing with low-income and first-generation students is critically important. And we might be nodding in the room like, yeah, no, we got to treat these students, with respect. But I travel all over the country doing consulting and program review work around student success efforts. And actually, a deficit lens is our position neutral in higher education. We start in so many ways from the assumption that our students are missing something, and that what they're missing is pathological to who they are. So an asset lens approaches these questions very differently. When we gather first-gen students in a room for an orientation experience, let's say it's before they start their first year, how often are we actually using a framework of social capital that was grown from marginalized communities? How often are we focusing on community cultural wealth rather than individuated mechanisms of social capital that actually come from a white normative frame that position our students as lesser than, right? So a community cultural wealth frame is going to ask a set of asset-based questions. You made it thus far. The community you came from, you're from Newark, you're the first in your family to go to college, you have 3 younger siblings that you raised up, you worked 20 hours a week in high school, and now you're here. What assets do you have? All the things you overcame, they actually tell you a story of resilience, of self-efficacy, of time management, of problem solving, of critical thinking. These are actually the core skills in collegiate success, right? So let's start from the framework that everybody in this room is part of a village of success. And that's a totally different message than, I'm going to start by showing you the statistics. Don't be a statistic, right? and when you say it that way, it sounds like, oh, who would do that? We do this all the time. We don't do it from a place of being anti-student, but we do it because a lot of us who came through success programs in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, that's the way we came in. So this deficit lens is really woven into the fabric of student success work in higher education, and it's something that we have to invert. We've got to draw from bodies of theory that are well established now that somehow don't seem to make it into the practice around even the way we frame social capital, and drawing from bodies of theory that are more empowering for marginalized group members. And I think that we can, from the start, create pathways to success that are more empowering than a lot of the models we use right now.